This is 5 on your side at 5. Focused on you.
We start with developing news. At least 6 people are missing and presumed dead following a bridge collapse in Baltimore overnight. The Francis Scott Key Bridge fell into the river after a cargo ship hit one of its pillars. Thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Bush.
I'm Kelly Jackson. We have learned the cargo ship crew issued a mayday and the ship lost power right before the crash. Video shows the moment that cargo ship hit the bridge snaps, then tumbles into the river. After the mayday call, officials say they were able to stop traffic, but they are still investigating whether there were any cars on the bridge when it fell. At least 8 people were on it, including construction workers who were fixing potholes. 2 were rescued. There's still a search for the 6 people who are missing. Tonight, they are presumed dead. Right now, leaders are calling this a tragic accident.
Our prayers are with everyone involved in this terrible accident and all the families, especially those waiting for the news of their loved one right now. I know every minute in that circumstance feels like a lifetime. You just don't know. It's just terrible.
Tens of thousands of people drive on the bridge every day. Today, the president said he wants the federal government to pay to rebuild it. The NTSB is in Baltimore investigating the collapse. And the collapse of the Key Bridge has many questioning the safety of bridges in Missouri and Illinois.
5 on your side's Holden Kerwicki spoke with engineers from MoDOT this afternoon, and he's live along the Mississippi River to explain what's being done to prevent a similar collapse in our area. Holden.
Well, Mike, Kelly, though it's rare, incidents like this can and have happened along both the Mississippi and the Missouri rivers. However, as I found out today, it's not barges or tug traffic that's the biggest threat to our local bridges. It's actually the river itself. After seeing video of the Francis Scott Key Bridge collapse, MoDOT Assistant Chief Engineer Eric Schroeder says 2 things immediately came to mind.
You go out first to the people that are on it and the lives that are involved. The second piece then is about, the safety of all the structures that we take care of and maintain.
In Missouri alone, the Department of Transportation manages more than 10,000 bridges, including those spanning the Mississippi.
We work close with the Corps of Engineers and with the Coast Guard to make sure that what we are building meets the national standards and that we're doing the best we can to address navigation on the rivers. Because the best thing to do is to avoid any collision.
In 1998, a tugboat rammed into the center span of the Eads Bridge, causing 8 barges to break away and hit the Admiral Casino, injuring 50 people. And in 2014, both the MLK and Eads Bridge were temporarily closed after being struck by another barge.
Typically, those strikes we can withstand, but we're going to close the structure because every strike is unique.
Schrader says the biggest threat to our bridges doesn't come from barges.
We have to make sure we design ours to withstand all the ice flows that come down the river as well. We got to keep in mind, part of Missouri also falls in an earthquake zone. So we designed for that.
Considering those facts and the ever-changing conditions on the river, Schroeder says he is often asked one question.
We get often questions, are they safe? They wouldn't be open if they weren't. That's our first role.
Each bridge in Missouri is inspected on a biannual basis for both rust and structural failures. MoDOT also partners with the Army Corps of Engineers and the Coast Guard to routinely inspect the pilings that go underneath of the bridge and deep into the river into the bedrock for any issues. Reporting live along the St. Louis riverfront, Holden Kerwicki, 5 on your side.
Tonight, Lester Holt anchors NBC Nightly News live from Baltimore. He will have the latest on the bridge collapse and the search for those still missing. That is right after our show at 5:30.
For the first time today, a jury learned how a Maryland Heights man plans to defend himself against murder charges. Joseph DeJoy is accused of killing a woman who he sexually assaulted, then kept her corpse in his bedroom for 6 days.
Christine Byers is here after listening to opening statements in the murder trial. And Christine, what did jurors hear in this case today?
Mike and Kelly, prosecutors told jurors today that Jackie Mitchell died of a fentanyl overdose after taking drugs Joseph DeJoy gave her and stuffed her body in a plastic bin in his bedroom. His defense attorneys told jurors Jackie fell into the bin and DeJoy freaked out when he woke up the next morning and found her still in it, not moving. Police believe Mitchell died sometime between March 15th and March 20th of 2023. A seasoned detective who took the stand today said the smell of Mitchell's decomposing body inside DeJoy's Maryland Heights apartment was the worst he's ever experienced in his 16 years on the job. After news of Mitchell's disappearance and murder, 2 additional women came forward to say DeJoy sexually assaulted them. Jurors heard from one of those women today who said she believes DeJoy drugged her before raping her in May of 2022. Now, DeJoy furrowed his brow and shook his head in disbelief and even whispered to his attorney several times while that woman testified. She also told jurors she was born with fetal alcohol syndrome and has some intellectual disabilities. This trial is expected to last through this week, and prosecutors have already warned jurors that they will be seeing some graphic images and evidence in the coming days.
The rain's moved out and the colder air has moved in.
Our Weather First team is watching the temperature drop, so let's check in with meteorologist Jim Castillo.
Yeah, a little bite to the air today. It feels like winter again, 43 degrees, but that feels like temperature of 35. So west-southwest winds 16. Still kind of gusty out there, but really a big part of the news is west of the metro. We have freeze warnings for tonight, and we're talking lows 26 to 29 degrees. So a hard freeze Wednesday. We're going to do that again as we get into Thursday. But the 24-hour rainfall totals, let's go through that. So we had 1 to 3 inches of rainfall, widespread, very beneficial. And pick your favorite town. We had about 2.3 inches in Rolla, St. Charles 1.2 inches, Moscow Mills in Lincoln County 1.1, and Edwardsville about 1.21. So weather headlines, freeze warning west of the metro tonight. Wind relaxes but stays up enough to where some of us are not going to see any frost. But frost and freeze likely Thursday morning. More on that coming up in Maine weather.
A woman from Florissant is getting a national award for heroism after saving 2 women who were attacked by dogs.
Annie Kroll joins us in studio after speaking with our local hero about the terrible day it happened, Annie.
Yes, exactly. Out of 800 nominations this year, Robin Hanley earned the Carnegie Medal for Heroism, along with only 16 other people. On December 22nd, 4 years ago, a 72-year-old woman was out for a walk in Florissant and was mauled by 4 dogs she had never seen before. Robin told me about the PTSD the woman, who she now calls a friend, is still facing. The 4 dogs knocked the woman to the ground, bit into her body, and tore off parts of her scalp. Robin ran out of her Florissant house, yelling at the dogs to get away. They did, but then ran off and began to attack a second woman who was coming over to help the first victim. Robin chased the pack of 4 dogs off again, somehow remaining unharmed in the process. For this, Robin is receiving North America's highest civilian honor for heroism, the Carnegie Medal for Heroism.
Because I have bad knees. I've had replacements in both knees, and if they would have gotten me down, there would have been 3 dead women, seriously, because I wouldn't have been able to get back up.
At 6 o'clock, we'll hear from St. Louis County Animal Control, who helped in this attack, and their advice if unfortunately you're ever in a situation like this or see it happening. Kelly?
All right, thanks, Annie.